Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dastur. Inshallah, may Allah bring us out from this confusion. Confusion is to say haq and batil, they are the same. That haq is one path and batil is another path. It is the same. It is not the same. Now, you are right because you said that you are confused, and a little bit you seem to be. Because now when you talk about Salafism and you talk about, say, Tasawwuf, these are not just different paths leading to Allah. And these are not just paths are both leading to Allah, but certain practices and certain practitioners, they are not really that good. But you cannot blame the whole path because of them. It is not that kind of dialectic. It is not that kind of argument. When you said that you want to take bayat, you want to take bayat to what? To the Nakshibendi order. The Nakshibendi order, what is that order? It is the highest order of Sufism, Tasawwuf. What is Tasawwuf? Tasawwuf, it is ihsan, to make your religion to be beautiful. And it is a spiritual way. Who started it? The Holy Prophet ﷺ did. Is there a lineage leading to him? Yes, there is. Is that lineage unbroken? Because you may have claim to have a lineage, but maybe you jump 1,000 years, and 1,000 years later you claim to have. No, it has to be unbroken. And not only unbroken, it has to be blessed. Because Batil also has a lineage. What we see today with Daesh and ISIS and all these kinds, they have a lineage too. All the way from the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the time of the Sahabi Kiram, they called the Kharijis. And that lineage, it continued, sometimes going underground, sometimes going up. So now you say Salafism. Now don't get confused. Salafism does not mean Shariat. And Tariqat does not mean anti-Shariat. When you get into that kind of understanding, then it gets very confused, because who are those people who are talking about them? Either people who have nothing to say really, or they're not practitioners of those ways, or they're just academics talking. So what is Salafism? It is not Shariat. Salafis now, it is a movement. Did that movement come 1400 years ago? No. That movement came less than 100 years ago. So there is the chain is broken. It is something that is new that came up. The ideas may be old, but it is a new movement. Now, why do the Salafis first call themselves Salafis? What is that word from? Salaf. Calling themselves Salafis. What does that mean? So what does Salafi mean? The first ones in the rank. And who are those ones who are the first in the rank? Let me give you an example. Imagine there is one movement that came out, and they are saying we're following Prophet, we're following Shariat properly, no one else does, we're doing this properly, and we're calling ourselves Sahabis. Is it acceptable? Why? Because Sahabis, companions, it is specific to only those ones who lived during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, who has met him. Who are the Salafis? The Salafis are the Sahabis. It is one of their titles, the first ones of their rank. So for people 1,300, 400 years later to call themselves Salafis, by itself, it is an innovation. And it is filled with arrogance. because we are just happy to call ourselves Muslims. And the idea that everyone else is not following Shariat properly, only the Salafis are following Shariat properly for 1,400 years, that by itself is arrogance, and arrogance is coming from Shaitan and will lead you to innovation and will lead you to the fire. Now if you say, I like this way, the Salafi way, because it is reliance heavily on the Shariat, we say very good. But the Salafi way is not the only way that relies on Shariat, that leans itself on Shariat, that takes pleasure and joy and satisfaction with the Shariat, with the laws of Allah. You know something? For 1,400 years, the majority, 99% of the ways of the Muslims is happy holding on and relying and finding joy in the laws of Allah. So Salafis are not the only one after 1,400 years to come up and to say we are the ones following the Sharia. Everyone has been following the Sharia. Now, if you say, well, I like to be in Sharia, but I also am drawn towards spirituality, but I believe there is a way for Sharia, for the law and for spirituality. We say you are going into the argument that so many people they are falling into, to say that there is now a separation. To assume that spiritual orders, they don't practice Sharia. Who says this? There may be some people in spiritual orders who is looking down on Sharia. That is wrong. Who's saying it is right? And that does not define spirituality. In much the same way as there are people in the name of Sharia, they commit so much evil. In the name of Sharia, they commit the worst levels of atrocity, but that doesn't mean that the Sharia is wrong. It means that those people, they have abused it. Now, what are we trying to achieve here? We are trying to become, leave Salafi, leave Sufi. We are trying to become Abdullah. And what is that Abdullah? What is that servant of Allah? Who are you looking to be? Who are you looking to follow to be that Abdullah? Our guide must be the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet, he is not just holding to the laws of Allah, he's holding on to the spirituality as well. With that, with these two wings, you can fly. Otherwise, you cannot do anything with that. And you are always going to be confused, thinking it is one or the other. It is both. It is not one or the other. And tariqat represents both. If you only have Shariat without tariqat, your religion, it is going to be dry, tasteless. And your heart will dry up. And your concentration and your focus is just going to be the rituals, the zahir part of the religion. You have to have the batin, the spirituality that fills it to give it more, to give it real life, to give it meaning. If you have spirituality and you're saying we're not accepting Shariat, and that there's no kind of Sufism that is like that, it is not acceptable. If you say that we are only going to follow spirituality without the Shariat, it is like saying, now that fruit, it doesn't need a cover, it doesn't need a skin. The most important thing is what is inside. Then what becomes to a fruit that has no skin? It becomes rotten. No good for nothing. You eat it, it becomes poisonous to you. Don't eat fruits that are not protected. So now when you look at Salafism, what is the lineage of Salafism? Where is it coming from? Undeniable, it's coming from Wahhabism. And Wahhabism, in reality, it is a heresy. I don't like to use Christian words, English words, but it is heretical. because it is out of the way of the Prophet ﷺ. I don't want to get into that Wahhabi, Sufi, Sunni kind of. That you can find out, you can research, and you can ask. And it is because of this Wahhabi poison that the enemies of Islam, they have supported this rise of Wahhabism, brought down the Khilafat, divided the Ummah. They've been supported by the enemies of Islam up till today, that the problems of this world and of the Muslims are continuing because of that root evil of Wahhabism. And Salafism is coming from that. They curse and they hate Sufis so much, but you know what? Sufis aren't the ones who are committing evil in this world. And the problem is, they are saying now you can fight evil with evil. Because we're not saying the Wahhabis are the ones who's the only ones who are committing it. No, of course, the enemies of Islam, they're committing that. But you have to understand now, they are supporting each other. What do we do? How do we prepare? At first, we must not be confused. Know what is haq and what is batil, what is right and what is wrong. You know that, keep yourself out. Live your life simple and clean. Don't try to change anything, because you cannot. Try to change yourself. Try to find like-minded people. Pull yourself out. This is what the Prophet ﷺ said. In that time of confusion, run to the mountains. Live simply. Now, he just doesn't mean it literally to do that. He also means now not to get so involved trying to know so much, running after so many things. Live simple. Be clean. And wait for Sahibul Zaman to appear. This is what we're doing. It is up to you to follow this way or not. This is what we're preparing. We're understanding evil and the evil that is behind evil, and the evil that is behind that evil. Because evil never shows its face as one. There's always endless masks that goes back, and it goes back, and it goes back. And if you are in the way of haq, you must know evil. You cannot say, in order to know Allah, I cannot know what is Allah's enemy. Don't say Allah's enemy is shaitan, no. Man's enemy is shaitan. The enemy of Allah, it is our ego that is in each and every one of us. And this is what tariqat is concentrating on. We are taking all the laws of the Sharia and putting it on ourselves more than others, but we are also putting the laws of spirituality to understand, to say La ilaha illallah, but to look not outside for the ilah, to say La, to look inside of us, to find what is the ilah that we have inside of us, to get rid of that, to come into illallah, only in the way of Muhammad Rasulullah. Welcome to those who come, and farewell to those who leave. May Allah guide you. You don't have to take my word for it. We are not here to collect people. We are here to say a couple of words. Those who listen, they listen for their own benefit. May Allah forgive me and bless you. May Allah raise the station of our Shaykh. May Allah bring more patience and more strength to the people who are under torture, who are under suffering, who are under pain. May Allah forgive us for our inaction. May Allah remove the tyrants and put new ones who are good. May Allah make us to be able to be strong one day to hold His justice everywhere. For the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of our Shaykh Al-Fatiha.